Hey everybody, it's me, SP, and I want to give you a heads up. If you're watching this here on YouTube, we have a great episode for you, and I can't wait for you to check it out. Wanted to let you know, though, our video switcher recorded everything and refused to stop recording, so it lost the video file. If you want to keep listening to this, we'll keep it up there, the whole episode, with just a card above it, so you won't get to see us as you listen, but you'll still get to enjoy it. And of course, you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts, if that's an easier and better way for you to do it. Just look up Hardly Working with SP and Kellie, and it'll be there. So I hope you enjoy the show. Sorry for the no video this week, but hopefully in a few days, you'll get to Hardly Working through it, the full video version. Fingers crossed, and we'll see you there. Enjoy the show.
So I got this weird cut last night.
Cat scratch?
From what cat? The cat that's in our house that I don't tell you about.
Your secret
Mocha
cat?
number 2. My Mocha. My Mocha. Hello, and welcome to Hardly Working, the show about life, love, and labor, hosted by the couple that works, plays, and stays together. I'm Kellie.
And I'm SP, and if I sound or look sunburned, it's because I am.
Yeah,
I
you are.
spent no less than 60 hours on Saturday outside in the sun watching a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds play quote-unquote all-star soccer.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if it was anything, it was not all-star soccer.
I was like, wait, what? No, it wasn't also. I mean, it was, but not our kids' team.
No,
Love her so much.
Got to get this just immediately out of the way.
I think they made 1 goal.
For
three
three
games.
games. We sat out for 3 games. We acted like real
Soccer
American parents this weekend. You know what? I'm proud of us.
Me too.
And the best thing, just like if you spend a whole day on the beach and you're just drained from all the sun, you know one thing's for sure, you get to go home and have a good night's sleep because you're so drained. That didn't happen either.
No, it didn't.
What is going on with our life?
I have no idea.
I don't even
But
know.
we made it through. She's done with soccer for the season until it inevitably starts up again. And she says, I want to play soccer.
Yeah, I think
Well, we go, no.
we probably have like 3 or 4 days before that
I know,
happens
right?
again because it seems to never stop.
Never end.
Never stop.
But yeah, but I have never sat for sports that long.
I can tell just by the phrase you used.
Outside sports. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of fun. But to be honest, I think Brooklyn enjoyed hanging out with her friends in between the games more than she enjoyed playing the games, although she would say differently. But truly, she just wanted to keep playing with her friends.
Well, I asked her. I think you did. You're like, you have a good time? She's like, yeah, I loved playing restaurant.
Yeah, which is not soccer.
That's
for
not what we
everyone at
call
home.
soccer.
That's not what we call soccer
at our
yeah.
house. Yeah.
So it was an interesting day. And then we had baby birthday.
Baby birthday.
For
Baby
Oliver.
birthday. That's right. Ain't no party like a 1-year-old party.
Because a 1-year-old party does stop
at
nap
about
time.
4, yeah, which is great because I think it is good to have ends to things. It was great celebrating him.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. I haven't gotten a chance to say this to Shim, but I'm sure she'll hear it. It was cool. I actually told it to her mom, who
Hit on
would
you.
run away with me if given the chance.
Yeah.
And we'll have to talk about it on Hardly Working Through It. Is like, what do you do
Oh my
when
gosh.
I leave you for Saman's mom? I love you, but you know, some
She
spirits
always
can't
tells
be pulled
me if it
apart.
was 30 years ago, if I was 30 years younger.
Oh, yesterday was 20 years
Or
ago.
20
so
years,
in
whatever
a
it
couple
was.
months might be 10
However
and then
many
5 and
years
then
younger.
tomorrow.
Then that is, I would be with you, is what she
True.
says to me every time.
And
That's what
Jackie, I'd be with you too. We just missed our shot.
Oh my gosh.
We missed our shot. I'm so
Nerd.
sorry. No, it was a lot of fun celebrating him. But I got to tell her, and I'll tell Shim this, or she'll hear it here, that it's pretty wild that I remember Saman was at my kid's first birthday party, and that was
Yeah.
8 years ago, 8 years and 1 week ago, you know, and then to be at her kid's first birthday party watching, you know, Oliver smash into a cake
Yeah.
the same way Brooklyn did. It was a weird full circle moment, but also just helped me remember, like, dang, I've known Shim and you and Nick not as long because he wasn't around in the early stages, but I've known kind of this crew for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
You know, not quite. It's maybe 7 or 8 years, but
Yeah.
life is going by fast.
I know, right?
And it's cool and it's
cool.
good, but also very fast.
Yeah, very fast.
Anyway, but that was a good time.
Yeah.
Worth mentioning other things that happened this week. I know you probably can't talk about the client, but you got a cool activation that you're working on right now.
I am working on a cool activation. You can follow me at BNBL Booth on Instagram to see it come to life because I'm working on it currently. I'm very, very excited about it. I hope it goes really well. Getting to work for a company that I've watched their movies truly for my entire life. Some of my earliest memories with my mom were watching these movies on TV. And so I'm very excited about it. And yeah, actively like, what is the phrase?
Pushing?
Arms deep, hands deep,
Yeah.
legs deep.
That's the phrase.
And something. You're, what is it? What is it?
Knee deep.
Knee deep. But it's just my hands because my knees aren't going in the mud. Sorry.
The metaphor's falling apart here.
It is. But yeah, in creating this activation, and I'm very excited about it.
I'm excited too. Yeah, so check it out if you want to see pieces of that. Bumble Booth on Instagram, BMBL Booth on Instagram. And
That's me.
I'm sure we'll talk about it. The gig's not till next week, so it'll be probably 2 weeks before we actually talk about the event itself and the client and all that kind of stuff. But stick around. You'll see how it gets built and put together as we figure out how to build and put it together. A couple other things. Want to give a recommendation based on something we played recently. Not a video game, but a tabletop game. Is it called Off Topic?
Yeah, it is.
So we were hanging out with Shim and Nick, having dinner with them, and we played Off Topic, which is a lot like, is it Categories? Is that the game where you roll the dice and you get a letter and then you have to fill out a list?
Yep.
It's basically that, but I would say with gentler rules in the sense of like, well, if the letters N, it can still be The Notebook for a movie or whatever. Like,
which I think is more fair because
it's more fair and more fun.
So what? It starts with the reason why I know it is because it's The Notebook, not because it's the Batman or the
Exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
So just throwing that out there is a fun time we had and a fun little party game recommendation. We've played it together, just the two of us,
which has
and
been
it
pretty
works.
fun.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I would say it doesn't work as well, but it still works.
It's still fun. It's a fun
for
time.
sure. Still works. And then so if you're looking for something to do with at a little gathering, check out Off Topic.
Off Topic. And if you're like me, you're gonna need a blanket here in 5 seconds.
Oh, I'll get you a blanket.
It's cold in the studio. But yeah, it's been a really fun week. I don't really have anything else to say about it though, other than like working on stuff and busy.
I have one more thing to mention.
Okay, go for it.
So we also went out to we had
dinner with Peter and Kate.
Yeah, so we had a not great dining experience that has nothing to do with the company.
Oh my goodness, the weirdest dining experiences we've had in a long time.
Yeah, so we went to this place that we like, Joey Woodland Hills, which sounds fancy because honestly, it is a little fancy.
Yeah, we ran into Jamie Foxx there one time.
Yeah,
my buddy.
Fancy enough for Jamie. Yeah, your buddy, which Kelly was sure she knew and tried to start waving at, but
don't know him at all.
Don't know him at all. Anyway, great place. It was. I don't know. Like I don't know if we even go into all the details of it. It was just so weird.
I'll say this: I've never been. I mean, I worked in the restaurant industry for a long time,
like a decade.
I've never experienced the amount of like. It's not gaslighting. The amount of like.
Pulling the curtain back kind of thing?
You're pulling the curtain back, but it was like shade. I've never experienced the amount of shade that these people like put on
it was a chuggy amount of shade.
Yeah, like literally we sat down, took a long time for someone to come over, and then finally someone came over and she was like, I'm the manager. We're just waiting on insert random name here, Shelby. Sorry, Shelby. That's all I can think about. Shelby to get in today, but I could get your order started. And I was like,
she's
okay.
She's late to her shift.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to know that this person's here. And then the waitress gets there. Like I said, I don't remember what her name is, but let's call her Shelby. Comes over to the table and was like, sorry that I was running a little bit behind today. You know, life's just crazy. And then later on was like, dropped off fries on accident. Was like, I would have let you guys have them. But like they track everything now. You know, COVID really changed everything. So I can't just do that or else I can get in trouble. Because, you know, like, F them.
Yeah, it was
I was like, I appreciate the openness. And at the same time, like, I'm just trying to eat dinner and talk with my two friends that I haven't seen in a while. And it's kind of weird that you're filling me in on like your work drama. I don't work here.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah. was very weird. But what I will say was we had a nice time with Peter and Kate. I think one of the things, and I said this to them that night, one of the things I realized is that because we all work together, not always, but usually when we get together, we're working. That's usually what it's focused on. And for me, I was like, why do I feel like I keep hitting a wall in these conversations? And it wasn't until we kind of transitioned to the personal side of stuff, the like, how's life? What's going on? That it really became fun. We ended up going from that dinner to another place to grab drinks afterwards in the same little area. Exo Tequila Bar and Grill, some
Ecstasy,
Mexican restaurant, something.
And the Village in Woodland Hills.
But just getting to like dig deep into each other's lives a little bit in hopefully non-intrusive ways. And it was lovely. It reminded me of how much I miss doing that with people. And I think that's something that I had a lot more of in my life when like I was in a small group or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say I had too much of that back then.
Yeah, you have to have a balance.
For sure. But I realized like I really do enjoy getting to know people on that level and, you know, asking them not personal questions that are like intrusive questions, just like, yeah, it's cool. Like we all did the gig, but like, I don't know, like, what do you want to do in your life? Yeah. Like what makes you happy?
Are you happy? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that was a big question we talked about was like, does anyone else ask themselves the question, am I okay?
And I learned that I'm okay. And
You're
not
the
everybody else
person
is.
at the table. Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. I'm happy. Live my life.
For a future working through it, we'll have to be like, the question is, am I okay?
Oh, goodness.
But no, it was really cool. I really value getting to just live a bit more authentically with people.
Yeah.
Especially in an industry that is mostly like put your best foot forward all the time. I think that at times can get exhausting, which I understand the reason for it, but sometimes it's nice to be like, hey, this is hard, right? Anyone
life
else?
Is hard, yeah.
Anybody else feeling like this is hard?
Yeah, it's true. And life is hard. And, you know, I think you and I are realizing that we're really lucky in our life and really happy. Simone said it to us downstairs today. She was like, yeah, you guys are best friends. Of course you match each other's weird. And I'm like, it's true. Like we match each other's weird.
Yeah, we are best friends.
Yeah, we are best friends. We meet each other endlessly where the other person's at all the time, whether it's silly, sad, happy, doesn't matter. We always meet the other person there. And I'm realizing that's not normal, which is interesting to learn because I'm just like, this is what I always expected life to be. I don't think I could be with someone that I wasn't like this with because this is what it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I could, and I have been with people like that, and it is significantly more challenging to live life that way.
Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's obviously one of the things I really value about our relationship is our friendship and the goofiness. You had said it downstairs. You're like, we just match each other's weird, like, like if you throw out something, like I'll meet you there.
Because I don't want you to be alone in it. Or think that you're crazy or weird. I'm going to be like, yeah.
But it's not even, we don't even put that much thought into it.
No, it just
happens. Yeah. So I love that and I value that.
Me too.
And I wish it for everyone.
Yeah. But all to say, like, I just realized our life is good. We're happy. We're healthy.
Life is good.
We're living the best life we can. Working, doing stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And had
hardly
some
working
breaks recently for me, which has been really good for my mental health. But more on that on a different show, because this, Hardly Working, the flagship show, the one that started it all the dozens of spinoffs that have come from it, this isn't about talking about my anxiety and if I feel like I'm succeeding as a person or not, and if I'm always riddled with existential dread, like a heavy, wet comforter underwater in the ocean, tossing you in the waves, just trying to get a breath. This is a fun show.
Yeah. So, speaking of fun show, do you have any stories for us?
I do. I have stories. I have unpopular opinions. I have so much, and I'm really excited about these stories. So let's jump into them.
Jump into it.
Oh, I really am excited about these. Okay, first one. It's a quick one. Mm-hmm. The title is Man Escapes from Burning Building, Dies in Another Fire 2 days later. So.
I'm sorry. Is he a firefighter?
No.
He just likes fires.
He's just a dude. A man who escaped from one fire has died after being unable to flee from a separate fire only 2 days later. Oh my gosh. Let's see. There was a couple quick things. Here's the photo from his apartment.
Dang, is he like a fire hero where he's like, there's a fire, gotta run inside and save people?
Is he a fire hero?
I know. I'm so sorry. Rest in peace. I apologize that you are dead.
I wasn't even laughing at that. They're
I
not
know.
called fire heroes.
Well, you said he wasn't a firefighter, so I had to think of a different name. Like, he's not an actual firefighter. Maybe he's like, I see a burning building. I'm not afraid of fire. I'll run inside and save people. I'm a fire hero.
Well, let's see what you think after the really only singular sentence of clarity in this entire article from Newsweek.
Ready.
In the fire on January 23rd, a mattress in the man's home was set alight, but he managed to flee to safety. It's unclear if he was injured in the incident. So this dude isn't a fire hero.
He's a fire starter. He's like an
He
arsonist.
is. And then a couple days later, he set his place on fire again. So I'm thinking this dude is probably like cooking some illicit substance in his apartment and blowing it up. So they don't give you the details of that. Not even the person's name.
not.
But twice in the same week.
Saying condolences to his family and don't be a fire hero, y'all.
Don't be a fire hero
Or a
unless
fire
you're
starter.
qualified to be a
I
fire
don't know.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, be a fire hero, not a fire starter.
There you go.
That's always been our motto on Hardly Working.
That's right.
Don't curse the darkness, light a candle.
Pops up on the screen.
All right. Told you there's a quick one. Moving on to the next one.
I'm ready.
I was sure when I read this article that it took place in Salt Lake City, but it doesn't.
Okay.
So with that said,
I want to hear about it.
let me see if you can fill in this blank
Okay.
with that context. Woman arrested after allegedly stealing $2,500 worth of blank.
Woman arrested after stealing $2,500 worth of Bibles.
No.
You said Salt Lake City. Let me
Could
think.
be, I think they use the Book of Mormon.
That is true. You know what I meant.
Yes. Okay. $2,500 worth of blank cups.
Starbucks cups.
No.
Oh, Stanley cups.
Yes. Let me just ask you
Yes.
this.
Stanley cups is now expanded outside of Salt
Utah.
Lake City.
I know, but when I think Stanley cups,
yeah, because
I think
Target
Utah.
like had a really big thing with them. Anyways,
So here, the title of the article
were
is,
they pink and red cups?
you want to see what they look like?
Yeah.
I will tell you. But first, let me just ask you. Here's the title. Woman arrested after allegedly stealing $2,500 worth of Stanley cups. $2,500.
Yeah, it's a lot.
How many Stanley cups do you think you can get for $2,500?
Not as many as you would think, because I think Stanley cups are between $30 and $50. I would have to guess. I don't actually know, but I know they're pretty expensive, kind of like Hydro Flasks.
Yeah. Well, here's the photo.
Danger. Those
So-
are even lame.
Yeah.
Lame.
Well, there's a ton of them. The answer is 65.
60.
You can get 65
Yeah. I was like,
cups.
yeah, I was like,
Cups.
like it's not as many as you
For
would think.
$2,500.
I know.
Who is buying these?
People that want cups? I won't ever get a Stanley cup. Okay, but I'll talk about that in a second.
No, tell me.
I won't ever get a Stanley cup because I saw a video on TikTok where
Is it gross?
well,
something in the
I
straw?
look inside my straws all the time now. Watch me do it because it's like in my brain. But this girl had her Stanley cup, and inside of her Stanley cup was a spider, and not a small spider, a big spider. And I was like, no. I don't know if it's like the Stanley cup material, easy to get into. I'm not sure, but I do use straws with my cups, and I look in them every
Are they
single
wider
time.
straws than normal straws?
They might be.
I've never seen a Stanley cup. If you're listening, you missed Kelly looking into her coffee straw right now.
I know it's not in there. I just was like, I'm gonna.
That'd be
do it.
pretty quick if a spider made a home in there between
was a
picking
big,
the
juicy
coffee
one.
up. Oh, it's a thick boy.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple videos of this too. Like it's not just one person; it's like multiple people. But it is that weird thing where I just look every time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And if we lived in Australia, I feel like
We will
you'd have
never
to
live
look
in Australia.
Sip to sip.
Never live in Australia.
Anyway, I'll give you the quick highlights of this. So it says that in yet another episode, which I was like, there's more of this? Is this a thing? Another episode of people doing extreme things for Stanley cups.
Yes.
One woman allegedly attempted to steal a shopping cart full of Stanley water bottles without paying for them. They pulled her over or saw her car. She got on the freeway, and then they discovered 65 Stanley products valued at $2,500.
Yeah. So let me fill you in a little bit because it seems like you've been.
Am I not on Stanley
You
Talk?
are not in Stanley Talk. So Target
Yes.
and Stanley Cup. It may have been Starbucks and Stanley Cups, but it was in Target. Did this promotion. Well, they've both done them for Valentine's Day cups that were red and pink.
Yes.
Stanley Cups.
Yes. And
Exclusively
now I understand
at
your question
Target.
from earlier.
Yeah, and it was a freaking huge deal where people went into Target and they would grab as many cups as they can. But it was like think Black Friday, but Stanley Cups.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
this was legit. And so much to the point where people would hide them and people would go and find them and take them and record themselves like putting them somewhere else. Like it was crazy, 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 crazy. So much so that Stanley Cup, I think, came out and said like, we're not going to continue this like promotion with Target because of how extreme people went. So like, we're not going to do that anymore.
They bought too many products. That's what you want.
No, I know, but it was like a limited release. So like, obviously, because that's what people do, right?
Yeah, but that's what happens with every limited release.
Yes, but it was like a Black Friday, not on Black Friday, for these pink and red Stanley Cups that people were then going and selling for way more.
Yeah.
Because they're what? Let's say they're $40. I think they're maybe a little bit more than that. I'm not sure, but they're selling them for like $100 and something. Yeah, like a Stanley Cup. I'm like, that's insane, and they're cute. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to go buy a Hydro Flask that's the same color.
Yeah, I'm happy with Hydro Flask.
Yeah. Stanley Cups are nice because you don't have to buy that big thing you bought for me in my car that just to fit it because it gets small and you can put it in the cup holder. So I do appreciate that. Maybe one day I'll get a Stanley Cup, but you can also get knockoffs and it's totally fine, guys.
I think that it bothers me because it's called a Stanley Cup. Because literally the trophy for hockey is the Stanley Cup.
I know. And I think what's funny is that the first time I ever heard about Stanley Cups, because I really don't feel like they have been this big of a deal. It's only in the last couple of years. But the first time I ever heard about Stanley Cups was through our I was going to say Mormon friends, but that's true. Through our Mormon friends who are friends in Salt Lake City, who would say like it was a big gift that people would give like for baby showers or wedding things, or different things like that. But I remember them talking to me when they would play Bunko, which I still don't really know what it is, but I know it's a game. Jansen talks to me about it.
What is Bunko?
It's like a dice game. I have to imagine that it's kind of like that game my mom, like Farkle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Farkle and Bunko. What are we saying? These aren't words.
They are, but we've played Farkle with my mom and my dad.
I've
it's like
never Farkled on anybody. With or not with.
Anyway, it's a dice game. That's what I know about Bunko. But like they have tournaments. So like it's really big. Within the it's probably just big in Salt Lake, but I know it from the Mormon. They would talk about me if they would say, I know it's such a weird life we live.
Yeah, let's just give certain games to certain religious groups. What are we doing?
What I know is that like the ward would come together, so all the girls would have like Funko. Who am I? Would have
that's Farkle and Bunko together.
I know, Bunko nights.
Just Funko Pops.
But you know what I mean? They have Bunko nights where they'd go and they'd play and you'd have different tables. Cause like if you lost, you'd go to the lesser table.
Oh, I get it.
Things
It's like how old people play bingo.
Kind of. But it's called Bunko and it's a little bit different.
That sounds terrible.
But the prize for most of these would be like a Stanley Cup. Isn't that funny? Like that'd be a prize.
Isn't that funny? Is this thing on? Hello?
But I don't mean like
Turn
funny,
me up in the
haha.
house.
I mean like, isn't that funny and weird that like they're like, we're gonna play Bunko just randomly once a month. They get together and they play Bunko. This is real. Once a month. Get together and they play Bunko and there'd be a gift. And for a long time it was Stanley Cups. And then Stanley Cups got really big. Don't know when it happened.
I think it's when the Bunko League took off.
Yep. So now if you guys welcome to our podcast about Stanley Cups and Bunko.
That's right. Welcome to Debunko, where we debunk all of the games that certain people play.
Anyways.
Bunko. Okay.
I have asked, I think 3 times what Bunko is, and it's been explained to me, and none of the times has it locked in my head. So I will ask once again in March when I see them again, talk to me about Bunko, and I'm sure I will not remember.
You can't remember. You can't ask about it. Did you ever play that game growing up? It was like a card game, and you weren't. All it was just rules. Like if you did something wrong and you got an extra card, but you didn't say thank you for the card, you get called for not saying thank you, and you get. Oh, it was called Mao.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of know what you're talking about. I didn't really play that. I played Kemps.
Kemps?
Mm-hmm.
What's
There's
Kemps?
another name for it, but I can't remember what it is because you've played it.
Spoons?
No, I did play Spoons though too.
Yeah, that's a poverty depression era game. Spoons.
Yeah,
that's a sad one.
You run to get spoons. I think that's what I remember.
You put spoons in the center.
In the center, yeah.
And like, I don't know. At some point, you have to try to sneak a spoon or grab a spoon or something.
Without
it's a
anyone
sad
seeing.
time.
Yeah. It's a good camp game.
Oh,
great
camping. I realized something this weekend.
Not that type of camp. Not camping.
Oh,
camp.
Like going to
a summer camp. Yeah.
Did you go to summer camps growing up?
When I was in high school, yeah.
I hated summer camps, as you could probably imagine.
Oh yeah, being away from home, all the things. I didn't mind summer camps.
Being outside.
I didn't mind summer camps.
That's good.
But I was with all my friends.
I'll tell you what was a game changer for me with sleepaway camps was when I stopped bringing sleeping bags and I brought a blanket instead.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even know.
I didn't bring sleeping bags. I always brought like sheets and a blanket.
Yeah, I've never did the whole sheet route because I was, a 15-year-old boy, didn't really care about a bottom sheet.
I did.
I was like, I'd rather stick to this plastic mattress, thank you.
Yeah, or I brought a sleeping bag and a blanket.
But here's the thing I realized too, even from a young age, I've always slept with like a pillow between my knees or legs.
That's a new thing for me.
So, but it's freaking great.
Yeah, well, like in high school. I didn't do that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
but like, yeah.
Oh,
You know what also is new
in
for
high
you?
school?
Yeah, and it's new for you. It's tucking your feet. Having the covers be tucked under your
If you
feet.
want to go into that, we're going to talk about the problems with a new comforter.
No,
you
we're not going
bought.
to talk about phones in a comforter. We're going to keep going on our podcast about Stanley Cups.
Sorry, we forgot.
Bunko.
We forgot there was a show going on over here. You're just getting into the real nitty gritty of our life.
Yeah, but anyways, to bring it all back, that was when you talk about the drama before with Stanley Cups, that's probably what they're referring to. That just continues to go because it was such a big deal and people were like getting hurt, kind of like how people were getting trampled, like similar thing, but
like
not
Black Friday 2003.
Yeah, so that's what
But for cups.
For
Do
Stanley
people
Cups.
realize that cups
Pink and
just
red
hold
Valentine's
liquid?
Day cups.
Who
Yeah, but can I
cares?
say this? They were literally just pink and red.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. They didn't like write Valentine's Day on it. They didn't have like those little sweetheart candies on them.
Didn't have
They didn't have
$100 in it?
hearts. No, but like it just like
What are we doing?
they're
That's
pink
it,
and
right?
red. Like
what are we doing?
It's
Why?
not like there's. I get that they're quote unquote limited edition, but like they didn't have anything on them. They weren't cute. They were just pink and red.
And if you're just listening, I wish you could see my adorable partner here wrapped up almost
I'm
entirely with a
cold.
blanket over her whole body. Looks like you're wearing a sari or something. It's like draped over one side. Okay, so thanks for giving me the lowdown on Stanley Cups.
You're welcome.
And Bunko.
I think Bunko might be like a dice game mixed with Scrabble. In my
And
mind, that's what I think. But I have no idea.
Farquaad or whatever the other one was.
Farquaad.
Whatever it is.
It's not Shrek.
Okay, I've got one more story.
I'm ready.
And it's not just the biggest story of the episode. It might be the biggest story
Oh my gosh.
of the year.
Liar. Okay, tell me.
Taylor Swift. I'm just kidding. Oklahoma college student.
Chiefs won and are now going to the Super Bowl. Anyway.
Pause. Is that true?
Yeah. Chiefs against the 49ers.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I don't know who's in the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs and the 49ers.
You know who's in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
This is troubling to me.
Well,
Not because of gender norms. It's a little bit gender normative. It's not my intention. But if it wasn't for your girl Taylor, would you have any clue who's in the Super Bowl?
yes, because as you know, my dad's team has been and probably will forever be the 49ers. So the 49ers are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I would have known who they were going. I probably wouldn't have known who they were going up against, but I would have known that the 49ers were in. I do know that the Chiefs are in because of Taylor Swift, for sure. But I would have known about the 49ers.
Dang.
Because it's my dad's team.
Fair enough. I won't be watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll be at a pink room with all my girlfriends. Well,
Yeah,
some
you
of my
will.
girlfriends.
All of them.
I was like,
With
all
all
of them.
So if you weren't invited.
I know, it's
like
only a couple
two
of them.
people. All right. So forget the Super Bowl. That's in 2 weeks from now, where we
Yes.
do our Super Bowl episode, where we talk about the best Super Bowl snacks.
Super Bowl, Super
I don't know.
Bowl, Super
We're
Bowl.
making it up as we go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's been a long time since we did a taste test.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't. Who knows? We're always flying by the seat of our
7-layer dip.
pantaloons.
I'm in. I'll make it.
So, ooh, yeah, I could do that. Okay, I could eat that. You could do it. You do it. I'll eat it. Oklahoma college student discovers new dinosaur species.
No.
Yes, this is true. This isn't AI. This is dinosaurs.
In Oklahoma?
No.
Okay, I was
Oklahoma.
like-
You want to see it? I think it's this one here.
I mean, I don't know. They look like none of the dinosaurs I've ever seen before because now they're starting to paint them with feathers instead of
That's because
scales.
we now know that it's more likely that dinosaurs had feathers than scales.
Yeah, no. Isn't that crazy how science can change? Because growing up, dinosaurs were always more like lizards, and now all of a sudden they have feathers, which is totally fine if it's more accurate because science is apparently ever changing, which is okay. But I just think it's insane that there are things that we can believe when we were younger that are no longer true.
Ooh, girl, that is just the truth of life. We learned it from, we didn't even talk about Poor Things. We learned it in Poor Things. That's the way the world works until it doesn't. And now that's the way the world works until it doesn't. And then that's the way the world works.
Poor Things. Poor
Weird
Things.
one.
Yeah.
Weird one.
I'd give it like a 25%. Emma Stone gets 100%. She's a great actress and she did an amazing job. The movie itself, freaking weird.
Emma Stone gets 100% because we got 100% of Emma Stone. Truly.
If you haven't seen it, you don't know. If you have, you do.
Yeah, she's great. Anyway, I will say this about the dinosaurs, that it was far scarier to me,
That they were lizards.
giant reptilian scaly monsters over large birds. Don't get me wrong, birds can be and often are already terrifying.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I want them to remake Jurassic Park now accurately. I want to see all the dinosaurs in feathers. And then let's see how scary a Tyrannosaurus Rex is. It's probably still scary. But I want to see it.
Jurassic Bird. She wants to see it.
With feathers.
Yeah. You know what? I think in the more recent movie, maybe there was one with feathers.
Nor.
R&R.
Nor.
There wasn't a single one with feathers.
I mean, if it was a bird that flew, yes. What's that bird called? Pterodactyl?
Pterodactyls didn't have feathers in the movies.
They might have had them, though.
They looked more like bats.
Like in the movie or in real life?
I don't know what's reality anymore. I was speaking about reality, but they may have feathers now. We don't know anymore.
I think they all had feathers.
Nothing is true anymore.
Who knows? Anyways, so all that to say, remake Jurassic Park with feathers, and there's an Oklahoma student.
I guess I could just scrap the article now because we really got to the heart of it. Remake Jurassic Park and World. Yes. Anyway, I'll give you the highlights because I was skeptical too, especially because I've
kill more people off because it makes it better if you kill them off. And if no one dies at the end, it's pointless.
Is this just notes? Just film notes
for
now?
Jurassic World.
Who would you have killed? Chris Pratt? Bryce Dallas Howard?
Anybody. Listen, now we're just off topic, but they brought back people from the original movies.
Yeah.
And nobody died. Not one person. So you wanted me to like have the happiest ending possible, which is great. I love that. And also, I was like, it kind of fell flat because somebody should have died. You could have killed Jeff Goldblum, which would have been very sad because we love him. But you could have killed him, and it would have made it mean something. But to have everybody live every time, I'm sorry.
Hey, wouldn't be hardly working if we didn't advocate for death.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, it was just like
they
wanted to tie it up in a beautiful little bow and give you a big action scene at the end, only for nobody to die and everyone to live. That was good that we liked. The bad people always die. But do you know what I mean? I'm like, cool.
I'll have to rewatch it. I don't even remember.
I don't know that you made it through.
No, I never do. Which is bad because I make my living off of the entertainment industry.
I know the third one wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It's okay though. Anyway.
All right, here's the details. First of all, it's like Oklahoma student. Who discovered this? Because you know who discovers new dinosaurs? People named
not
like
archaeologists, but archaeologists.
Yeah, but people named like
paleontologists.
Bertrand, Bartholomew, Cecil.
Temperance.
This one's Kyle.
Yeah, hi Kyle.
Kyle Adkins Weltman, an anatomy and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean his name is Adkins Welkin, so that fits with it. Yeah, Kyle Adkins you know what I mean?
That's true. He was born for this. Wait till you see his picture. It looks wonderful, and I'm not disparaging anyone based on their physical appearance. I was just surprised. Okay, so Kyle figured out there's a new dinosaur. Found a fossil, cracked it open, doesn't look like the other ones.
Where?
I'm going to try. I will answer that question too. I'm going to try to pronounce this right. The Ionophron infernalis, which translates to Pharaoh's Dawn, chicken from hell.
Which one is it? Pharaoh's Dawn or Chicken from Hell?
It is Pharaoh's Dawn, chicken from hell. I don't know if it's Pharaoh's Dawn, chicken from hell or Pharaoh's Dawn, chicken from hell, but I think it's the way I said it originally because there's already something called the Anzu Wile, which was described as, quote, the chicken from hell.
Got it.
And there is more context here. So this person, based on a fossil that they found, I believe was in Montana, and I'll get there when I get there. He said, it's not easy to say, Ionophron, whatever it is, weighed about 150 to 160 pounds, standing about 3 feet tall at the hip. I don't know if that means like to our hip or they were 3 feet tall on their hips. No idea. It was a bird-like dinosaur, had a toothless beak and a relatively short tail. It's hard to tell its diet because it has a toothless beak. It definitely had feathers. Boom, definitely had feathers. It was covered in feathers and had wings. Here is Kyle, the new Indiana Jones style person. He's got tats. He's got long, heavy metal hair.
Get it, Kyle Adkins Welton.
Yeah, sure. So here's what it says. These fossils were found in, and this is what it will give it more clarity, I think, in Hell Creek Formation in Montana.
Ah.
in the Hell Creek formation.
I've never been, but
spanning
okay.
parts of Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota. Okay, so that I did think it was just Montana, but it could have been any of those. It was somewhere in there, and I'm sure that's why they were called the Chicken from Hell or whatever it is. Let's see. He just goes on to say it was really thrilling based on the work and the research that he does. Never thought he would be someone who gets to discover a new dinosaur. It's
pretty cool.
Species. It is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So figured I'd throw in a little bit of actual science here.
I love that.
Until it gets debunked later.
I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was younger.
What's an archaeologist?
Not an archaeologist, just an archaeologist.
Oh, what's that?
I wanted to be someone that went to Egypt and like got to be in the pyramids and tried to find artifacts and ancient things about ancient people.
It is the one place you still want to go to and haven't gone to.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get there. I'd love to.
It's a little scary going to Egypt.
Yeah, but see the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens.
That's true. The kings and queens.
Kings and queens. And the pyramids. It'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get out there one day. It's just a matter of when. And hopefully the aliens show up when we're there.
No, thanks.
That's probably who built them.
Well, who knows? But they are incredible and crazy. And I do think that the Sphinx is older than we all think it is. Mm-hmm. And I think there's more to it.
And maybe it was a lion before. There's so much stuff. We'll talk about Egypt another day, because we talk about that for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
But instead of that, let's hit a couple unpopular opinions.
I'm ready.
All right. I'm pumped about these because they span so many different areas.
Oh my goodness. How many are there? 3?
I have up to 3 planned.
Okay.
But if we don't have time for all of them, then we don't.
Okay.
First one, a fun one. We need more frat boy / dude bro comedies. This is the examples they give. Zoolander, Anchorman, Wedding Crashers, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Pineapple Express, Something About Mary, The Waterboy, Happy Gilmore, Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story, Popstar, The 4-Year-Old Virgin, The Other Guys, Tropic Thunder. Where has this kind of absurd, stupid, R-rated, but still goofy stuff gone?
I agree with that. I would not call them frat boy movies. When I think frat boy movies, I think Neighbors.
I think, Neighbors. I think Dude, Where's My Car?
I don't need any more of those.
Yeah, but for me, it's like those lower budget comedies. Doesn't even have to be R-rated.
I know they won't make them anymore because a lot of those weren't PC.
True. And I don't think we
like
have to
the Waterboy.
What wasn't PC about Waterboy? Just that he had a Cajun accent? The Waterboy with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I think he was. A Cajun accent is not what I think he had. I think he was.
Oh,
what we would say. He had some mental disabilities that I think they made fun of.
I guess that's true. It's been a long time since I've seen the Waterboy.
I know, but like a lot of those ones aren't necessarily PC or like socially acceptable anymore because of like some of the jokes we could get away with when in like the 90s.
Okay, true.
In the 2000s. But I do like some of those movies. I think they're funny. And I think there is something about the simplicity of it. Like not every movie, I think for me, I feel like not every movie that I see has to have some elaborate twist or some deeper meaning behind it.
CGI effects everywhere.
Sometimes it can just be a Hallmark movie where people like, that 2 people are going to like hate each other, fall in love, and then end up together.
Yeah.
But there's going to be some conflict that makes it hard. And they do like, I know that's what's going to happen every time I see a Hallmark movie or a Christmas movie for that matter. But I like it. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. And I feel the same way about some of those movies. Like, there's not going to be anything. It's not a Wes Anderson film. Okay. There's nothing like deep about it, and that's okay. But it's still fun.
And that's what I'm hoping for moving forward. As we see many studios slashing budgets in projects and different stuff like that, I'm hoping that reasonably budgeted movies, rather than $300 million, $10 million movies.
Yeah.
That it's like the studio's not worried about not making their money back because even putting it direct to streaming will pay for it. I miss those types of movies.
Yeah. And to add on to that, sorry, I just wanted to say this. I also miss the type of movies that aren't intertwined with 20 other movies that you have to watch and know in order to understand that one. I'm like, I just want a standalone movie that I can go and see.
Yeah.
And enjoy and laugh and then like not ever have to think about if there'll be a sequel because it doesn't matter because I just enjoyed the movie.
So let me jump in. We'll get back to this because I have one more thing I want to add to this. But I agree with what you're saying. And I think that's why people are identifying like superhero fatigue right now is because they feel like I have to watch everything to know everything. What used to be like, oh yeah, it's so awesome. Not only are there the movies, there's TV shows and there's so much. And then all of a sudden it was like, there's, dare I say, too much content. I heard someone say it well, in a cavalier type way, but they said, I can't possibly care about all of this.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and also, like, it's interesting to think about when it all started. Like, when Iron Man came out, I don't even know what year that was, but I think I was in high school still. Like, I was...
Yeah. I was in my first year of college.
Yeah, I can't imagine as we're growing up, like, we're getting tired. If the demographic is no longer our parents for necessarily to see these Marvel movies, is people our age or people younger than us. But anyone that's younger than us that hasn't seen some of those beginning movies, that's like asking so much of them to be like, go back and watch these movies.
Totally.
That mean nothing to you because you didn't see them when they first came out. It's just going to be bad CGI and all of that stuff.
Not update, like current.
Not up to current, standards. But it is an interesting thing to think that they want to continue to try to keep, and not to talk poorly about any play, but to keep some of this stuff going has to be harder because the older we get, like, there are people that are younger than us that have never seen the beginning ones.
Yeah, but I'm so excited.
Have no desire to probably go see them.
And I'm excited, though, to watch all of those movies
with
Brooklyn. But here's what I would say.
And Robert Downey Jr.
Amazing. And yeah, I do not have, certainly not Marvel Studios fatigue at all. I also happen to work with them a lot, but the two are not mutually exclusive for me. What I will say is that by the time we got to Endgame, we really had that button, that bow on, like, we wrapped up
really happy.
a decade worth of story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I think a lot of people probably fell off from there. But I can imagine showing Brooklyn that altogether in the same way that people like, I can't wait to show my kid the original Star Wars trilogy.
Or Harry Potter.
Yeah, or Harry Potter or whatever it is. But anyway, so I wanted to mention that about, I think some people are getting a little bit of that fatigue. But hopefully it's hard if you're going to spend $300 million, $100 million on a movie, you are really dependent on people showing up to see it.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you don't make your money back. So I'm really hoping that people, I think there's still a place for interconnected stories, but I think you can also stop a story and build another universe that's still in the same universe, but isn't trying to hold on to other things, or I don't know. It's okay to have something that is just a thing for its own sake.
Yeah.
That you can just enjoy.
Yeah.
Back to the original thing. We won't call them frat boy, dude, bro comedies.
I don't think that's what it is. But like
silly comedies. Mm-hmm. I have a couple of our recommendations on here that I wrote down.
All right, let's see.
A newish one within the last couple of years. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Oh, that's really good.
That is
such a fun one.
Such a fun one, and so similar to these types of movies.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Barb and Star go
it's
to Del Mar.
in on the joke.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. Other ones from, I would say, late 90s, early 2000s that are worth revisiting, I think, because we've done some of them. The Austin Powers trilogy.
Yes,
very fun. Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights, which is Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan. I believe the premise is just he's a cowboy and he's more of a martial artist.
Okay.
But they have to, it's two people who are diametrically opposed, have to work together, that kind of thing. And speaking of Jackie Chan, and my last recommendation, the Rush Hour trilogy, which if you want, you can stop after number 1, but still, they're all fun.
Okay.
You have any I know I didn't tell you about
I was
this,
like,
but those are some of my highlights and recommendations.
Probably not any that I can think of off the top of my head quickly.
Because we nailed them all.
I'm like, Austin Powers was a good one to rewatch with you.
Okay, well then let's move on.
Yeah.
Next one. Life isn't about getting out of your comfort zone. It's about finding it. Here's the context. Mm-hmm. Let it marinate. Okay. Let it sizzle. Let those fajitas cook right on your plate.
All right.
Here's what it says. Life isn't about being busy all the time in a constant chase with your phone ringing all day long. It's about finding the sweet spot that allows you to have a professional and a personal life. Staying in your comfort zone doesn't reflect your lack of ambition. It's actually the spot where you excel the most.
I mean, I agree with what they said. I don't agree with the actual premise of staying in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think it's important that you're challenged in certain things, but your whole life shouldn't be one challenge after the other. Like, there should be comfort and there should be like satisfaction that happens.
Yeah.
So like I said, what they're saying about like finding like your balance, your work-life balance, and like being able to like complete the tasks at hand, basically what it's saying, I think is all true. And at the same time, if you're never challenged and you stay in your comfort zone, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
And you'll just always stay where you're at.
I've had some time to chew on this.
Frumpy.
I've had some time to chew on this a little bit because I do agree with this.
Okay.
With some clarification and caveats, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that we are all on a relentless pursuit to find what makes us comfortable.
True.
Why work? Well, most of us work because we have to pay bills. Once you're past that, why continue making money? Why get a bigger house or a nicer car or more expensive food? We do it because we work to be happy or be comfortable.
Yeah.
So, but I think that the catch to this is you almost certainly, without exception, with rare exception, have to get out of your comfort zone in order to find your comfort zone. Yes, there's a comfort zone. It's right there in your living room. But if you just watch Netflix all day, you're never going to progress. And sometimes there were some questions or unpopular opinions I took out, but it had to do with that. Like sometimes it's okay to not be ambitious and that kind of stuff. But I do think that ultimately we're all looking for comfort in our partner, in our homes,
For sure.
in our financial security, in our health, all that kind of stuff. So I do think that the aim of life tends to be to find your comfort zone, your comfort person, all of that. But I do think it's by getting out of your comfort zone that you generally are able to find those things.
That's true. And I would even go as far as to say sometimes sitting in your comfort zone for too long can be uncomfortable. Think back to what was it like early January, maybe late November. We were like, man, life's good. We have no...
Early January, late November?
Early January or late November. It definitely wasn't December because we were very busy in December, but I can't remember which one it was. But we truly we weren't really working very much at that time. We had kind of a break after working a lot. We played Gears of War like every day.
Yeah.
And eventually we were like, okay.
Yeah.
I think we did it. This is like round 3 of Gears playthrough. Like, I think we did it. Was it comfortable? Of course. Is it what we were working towards? Being able to have like a break and do what we want and sit and just be? Yeah. But we were like, all right, like we're comfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm uncomfortable in the comfortable.
100% agree.
So it's it has to be a balance of being able to know when to sit in the comfort and be like, yes, I deserve this. I want this. Yeah. We're going to talk about this next week.
Oh yeah?
On Hardly Working Through It. Yeah.
Can't wait.
But also finding those things and those people that push you.
Yeah.
To be the best version of yourself, because there's comfort in finding that too.
Yeah. 100%. I think it's worth mentioning, and people who listen to the show know, but my primary trait is achiever. Your primary trait is helper, but your secondary is achiever.
Yeah.
So since we're both wired to be achievers, it is harder to enjoy playing a video game all the way through or whatever, because at some point you're like, I got to get serious again. Yeah. You know, there's just that intrinsic internal push to like, this has been fun, but come on.
Yeah.
And when you were like, whatever it was, late November, early January, doesn't matter. Yeah. It's like, it might have been a week where we just didn't have anything happening, but that's all it took for us to be like, we got to get something going.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that you're talking about this, and I don't know how off topic this is, but you and I have been talking about, or I've been saying it, and you're like, yes, I agree. Like, being able to have those seasons where you can just sit and be and not have to worry about anything is great. But also, like, when inspiration strikes,
do it. Yeah.
Like, do it. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do recently is like, even the other day I was like, I'm just tired. I want an hour to like just sit. And then we got home and I was like, no, I'm feeling like really inspired to like finish this section of my activation that I'm working on. So I did it.
Yeah.
And I could have sat for an hour and been comfortable and been fine, but I was happier in doing the thing that I needed to do because I was excited to do it and felt like motivated to do it as well.
So I have taken that philosophy and tried to adapt it into my life. And just like you described your life too, I took that philosophy from Rick Rubin's book. I think it's called The Creative Act, where he talks about the need to surround yourself with people who understand that when inspiration and motivation strikes, that you have to stop what you're doing to make that happen.
Yeah.
Because inspiration and motivation is not something that sticks around. And he talks about it as if it's like, you know, a stream of consciousness, ideas going, you know, through the air. And sometimes they come down to you and you might grab onto it. It might be writing a certain, like a song or doing a piece of art or something. But if you don't grab onto it, it will continue going and someone else will grab onto it. And he talks about it in a, what I would call a more woo-woo way, where he's like, there's just these ideas and you have to be a receptor to those ideas, which I agree with. But he thinks, you know, sometimes he'll be like, you'll hear a song on the radio and be like, what? That was my song. Like, I was going to write that. I was already thinking about it. He was like, it wasn't your song. It was something that was out there, and you didn't either tune into it or you didn't jump on it fast enough, and it kept moving and went to somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where it gets a little woo-woo.
Sucker.
But,
Just kidding.
I think it's been really cool, especially this week, that you've been doing those things. Even earlier, you were like, you know what? I'm going to go to Target and get a binder because I want to do a fresh, new, different type of proposal for this client that I'm going to go meet. And you did, and it paid off in spades.
Yeah.
You know, but I also know that as important as it is to hold on to those moments and run with them when they happen, it is even more difficult, but equally as important, to be in a relationship or a family or whatever, or a friendship or a dorm room, whatever it is, where the people around you go, oh, that's fine that you're walking away from dinner right now.
Yeah.
Or you're walking away from the movie that we're watching because you're inspired. Most people are not going to meet you there.
No, but you do.
Yeah, but I think it's because we have similar values, but also similar aspirations and similar jobs, and we have an understanding. It's not like I work in tech and you work in food, and we're like, really, food's taking you away again, or the store or whatever. Like we live a similar life. I think it is hard to have people in your life who are cool with you stopping what is normal and traditional and happening in order to do something that needs to happen in the moment.
Yeah.
And of course that gets tricky. You don't want to be the person who's never anywhere because there's so much inspiration happening and you're never present.
Yeah.
But it is important to grab those moments when they happen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's true. So if inspiration strikes, go for it, guys.
Go for it.
All right, last one.
You know, we can do one more, or we could wrap it up and save it for next week. Up to you. You want to hit it fast?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This one.
I already said last one, so I feel like we
I
should.
know. See, this is
Sorry.
what happens when you run the show.
Sorry.
You're so good at it. Okay, we'll do one more. We've talked about some things like this probably back in season 1, and we are now 11 episodes into season 3.
Yeah.
Whoa. We've talked about weddings, and we've talked about being in weddings. We've talked about prices and all that, and here's one that's kind of similar.
I'm ready.
People in a wedding party shouldn't be expected to give a gift to the couple getting married.
I kind of agree.
Here's the, and 87% agreed. Here's the clarity, context. That's the word. Being in a wedding is expensive, from the cost of the dress / tux, accessories, bachelorette, bachelor party weekends, bridal showers, hotels for multiple nights, etc. I feel that being in a wedding and spending time and money, I end up spending roughly $1,000 for weddings I'm in, should be enough of a gift to the couple.
Yeah.
Can I give you my thoughts first this time?
Yes.
I see this differently in different stages of my life.
Yeah.
When I was in my early 20s and everyone I knew was getting married and there was like a wedding every other weekend, half of which you're in because you're in a community that's very tight-knit and small. So you're in 50 weddings as a bridesmaid or a groomsman or whatever. It's hard because you're in your young 20s. Maybe you're married too. Maybe you're starting a family. Who knows? You've got rent to pay. You're living in Southern California. It's expensive. And it's already hard enough to be like, I'm going to shell out $500 for the bachelor party or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's already a big investment. I would have said back then, like, that's enough of a gift. Now that I'm in a different life stage and financial spot in my 30s than I was in my 20s, you and I talk about it all the time. We're like, let's make sure we still get them a gift, even though I'm one of us maybe is doing their wedding for a discount or free or something, or even just attending. We're like, whatever it is, let's find them something to get that we can get them off the registry.
I hear that. But it's been a long time since we've been in someone's wedding and done that.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. But sorry, was there more to your thoughts?
No, go for it.
I look at it and go, there's so much for the girls to do. Like, if you are in the wedding party, you're going to buy your dress. You're going to be expected to pay for some of the bachelorette party, which nowadays they're like super extravagant. You are going to have to help put together the bridal shower. And you're supposed to get a present for the bridal shower as well, even though you've probably paid for the food and or decorations or whatever for that. Yeah. And then you have to pay for your hair and your makeup to get done.
Wow.
And then you have to get a gift also for the wedding.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference between guys and girls, because guys are going to, like, for sure, you guys are probably going to have a bachelorette party of sorts as well, but it's more likely going to be like, we're going out to a bar and we're hanging out, or we're going over to someone's house and we're going to play a game. Like,
sometimes it's we're going to Vegas. We're going to Pismo Beach to camp in the sand dunes for 3 days.
But
kill me.
But yes, and like, I know people have to pay for that too, and that's fine. But
then I have to pay to do something I hate.
True.
Sorry, that's a different topic though.
But you're not expected to then also throw them something for a bunch of other people to come before the actual wedding and all of that stuff. Because there's a bachelor party, yes, but there's not like a bachelor.
There's no bridal shower for dudes.
Bachelor
Is that what you're
shower.
saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think there's a market for bachelor showers. That sounds sexy.
Oh my gosh. Well,
It's a bachelor shower.
Shower. But anyways,
with bachelors.
I think it just depends on your relationship and what you decided to do with that. I will say, I don't know that I've bought gifts for people that I've been in their weddings with them.
Really?
I'm like really trying. Honestly, I'm trying to think about Shim. I'm like, did I get her something for her wedding? I think the answer is
you
No.
contacted all of her relatives living in South Africa and put together an audio montage of how much they love her. So that seems like a gift. It's not a toaster, but it was a gift.
Yeah. It was a thoughtful gift, but I did plan her bachelorette party. That's what I was trying to think about. I was like, I planned her bachelorette party, went to Yosemite, made sure that was all taken care of. She
Built an entire website for everyone to RSVP.
I did all of that. Yeah.
You're cool. That's all I'm getting at is you're a really cool friend.
But I don't remember if I got them a gift.
You know what?
But
You're
I
not
probably
as
got her
cool of a
something for
friend
her
as I thought
for
you
her
were.
bridal shower.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the question.
If I did get her what you normally get girls at like a bachelorette party. That's the other thing. You normally get a gift for the bachelorette party and a gift for the bridal shower and then a gift for the wedding. So it's a lot of gifts.
So gifts are being purchased is what you're telling me.
Yeah, along with all the other stuff. But I would happily do that I would happily do that for Simone a million times over because she's my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
She's not the demographic we're talking about. I'm talking about people that are like, I'm not your maid of honor.
Yeah, but you're close enough to be in the wedding.
Yeah. Maybe we should just talk about it. Maybe we should let's normalize talking about what's normal. Like, hey, if I'm going to be in your wedding and pay for all this stuff, do you expect a wedding gift from me? Or is this the honor and the wedding gift that I'm going to stand next to you and make sure that you have a great night and make sure you're taken care of? Because I'm also the person that's like, oh, I'm going to make sure we have breakfast that morning as we're getting ready and like have everything there. Like it's all a gift. So I don't know that you need an actual gift from me.
My presence.
Don't put me in your wedding party. I'm just kidding.
That's what we're getting at.
Unless your names are Hannah and Andy, don't put me in your wedding party.
Yeah, I'll be there. That's the last one, though. That's the last unpopular opinion.
That's it. We did it.
We did it.
High five, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Before we get into things we're looking forward to, you want to talk about the question, or can I bring up the question for Hardly Working Through It in just a few days? Kelly's bringing up the question. You talk
about what you're excited about.
I'm excited about a couple things coming up. It is still a little bit of a chill season for me, which is awesome. By the way, Adam, my brother, if you're listening, congratulations on your baby. Woo! Happy that Josie's here. Hope that she is healthy and happy and wonderful. But congratulations on that. Things I'm looking forward to. Building that activation is one that we're going to be doing kind of all week long. And the second one, I'll let you maybe talk about later. But yeah, we got the dinner party, which we're very excited.
I'm very excited about to celebrate our friend Scott. It's going to be very fun. I'm super excited. And I'm hanging out with my friend Mark this week, which I'm very excited about. So it's a good, fun week. I'm stoked.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. And join us later this week on Hardly Working Through It as we talk through the question, should couples have access to each other's phones? Privacy versus openness in relationships. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it in our life and other people's lives. And hopefully you guys will join in and then share with us your thoughts on Hardly Working Insta.
That's right. Send us your location. We don't want you to have any privacy. We want to be intrusive.
You're so weird.
I love you.
I love you too.
Anything else that you're looking forward to or want to add before we wrap it? No, I think that's it.
And then
got a kind of a chill week.
Yeah.
Well, hope you'll join us again as we answer that question in just a few days on Hardly Working Through It, talking about should your partner, spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend be able to look through your phone when they want to. Find out more in just a few days. But until then, I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're feeling incredible. And I hope you know that you are okay. Just like me, I am okay. And so are you. And I hope more than anything else, you spend most of your week hardly working. Bye.